All right, just stand up. Good evening. Today is January the 7th, 2019. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I would like everyone to stand for the opening prayer and then pledge allegiance.
Lord, we are meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Lorraine?
Present.
Shoemaker is gone. Mathis?
Here.
Kruger's present. Kessler? Here. Gopal? And Tucker. You have 6 members present.
To the people in the audience, we have 3 cameras in the room. You're welcome to come up, speak at the podium. You just have to give your name, but you do not have to give your address. But I'm going to ask you to speak a little bit louder so the people in the back can hear you and also me. Okay? Recording to the members of the board. Are there any questions in regards to the agenda, amending the agenda?
Oh, I got a lot of questions about that. We'll leave it alone.
I do have one in our audience. It's our new zoning administrator. His name is Michael Dean, and I would like to introduce him to our board and then also to the public. Mike has been here 4 days.
Yes, I have. Came back for more?
Yeah.
Right. Voluntarily? Okay.
Yeah, it's quite different from where he's come, he said. And is there any questions, the board members? Or would you please introduce yourself to Michael?
Hi, my name is Mark. I am trustee going on 16 years, and welcome.
Thanks. Well, Mike and I met earlier, so we're all set.
Same here.
Me too. Me 3 or 4, whatever that means.
All right,
I'm Ralph Kessler, trustee.
Vince Lorraine, trustee.
All right.
How you
In
doing?
Mike's office up in the front, upstairs, we changed the offices around. So you'll have to come around and just find his office. We gave him one of the biggest offices because we knew he's zoning and planning. And every week on Tuesdays, the zoning and planning board, which would be Valerie and now Mike, and then myself and the zoning administrator, no, not zoning administrator, code enforcement officer, and then anyone else, possibly the assessor, will come in and we discuss all the different problems so that when it comes up in front of the zoning where they're familiar with it, I'm familiar with it, and Mike. But he's going to be doing okay. The only thing that anytime we get new people in this township, they have a hard time finding a straight road and a road that continues. Every time they go down a road, there's a lake at the end of it. And our police officer said it's a lot difficult than what you think, when you're trying to be out on the road. And also our fire chief probably says the same. So do you have any questions for us, Michael?
No, I've enjoyed my first 4 days so far. For those of you who don't know, I've been a consultant for the past 3 years, working for McKenna. So I've been driving all over the state. And I live in Grand Blanc. I've lived there for 12 years. My wife is born and raised in Grand Blanc. So you guys have been our neighbors. We've come down here to eat and shop. So this opportunity came up, jumped on that. And
Yeah.
I am so happy you guys decided to move forward with me. And I am here to serve you guys.
Tom, how many candidates did we get?
13?
No,
15 or so.
we narrowed, I think we had 20-some to start with. We interviewed 10.
Mm-hmm. And
Whittled it down to 5, then 2, and now 1.
did a good job, Mike. Thank you.
We're gonna be kicking his tires on Thursday at 7 if anybody's interested.
Included in the, in your packet are the minutes for the meeting of December the 17th. Are there any corrections or requested revisions for the meetings? Meeting minutes.
Tom fixed them all.
Tom fixed
He
them.
fixed them all. It was a little light.
He's tired of
Yes.
hearing from us.
Yes. All right, the next thing is, I need a motion is in order to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion?
What was the
Yeah,
amendment?
what was the amendment? I didn't-
The amendment was for Mike, and then I went right into,
Oh, okay.
I introduced him, but I went right into it. So, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Expenditures. Are there any questions in regards to the expenditures? I have one, and I think it'll be for Mr. Belzer and Mr. Broker. I'm looking through the bills, and I'm seeing a very small check, but it's for a gentleman that was supposed to not be working here anymore. And Gregory Takani. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I mean, I don't know. him
But now we were supposed to relieve him. Remember, he was the fireman that came in here.
I don't know that it ever,
So that's what I want to know. What are we going to do about it? How are we going to get him to leave?
Well, we'll have to take board action.
right.
Okay, so should we put it on the agenda
It'll be
next
on
week?
the agenda if we're in the position to do what we need to do. That would be my question. Are we ready to do?
I talked to the fire chief about this a while back, but I don't know what's transpired since then. I know the fire chief was considering some sort of discipline for the fellow. I don't know what's happened or not.
Can we give him direction to either write a letter to recommend it to the board?
Right, and
Just-
if you're gonna do some discipline on an employee, you need to notify the employee so they can come here and if they wanna say something. So I don't know if there's been any communication with this fellow from the fire chief or not.
I don't think
No,
so.
Okay, so I would suggest that the board have the fire chief send the guy a letter saying whatever the discipline is, and it's gonna be brought before the board at our next meeting.
Okay? You're all set on that?
I have a question or two. You done? Are you?
No, that's all right.
No, you're not done.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Tom, the entry for 5,226 for Don Schweeman, that's Michigan DPW, and part of it was a retaining wall for Fire
Yes.
Station 1. Can you illuminate what that's about?
Well, the chief could probably explain it better, but there was a retaining wall. You know, the parking area, the driveway area is kind of two-tiered, and there was a retaining wall that had collapsed. And he gave us a quote, and we
It was for repairing it or?
rebuilding it.
Rebuilding the whole,
Yeah,
took it all apart.
Now, a silly procedural question. When I look at this list, it appears to be every week in alphabetical order, okay? And for whatever reason, Don Schweeman is like after
It's
the
not.
M's.
Yeah.
It is in the M's, and I don't understand how that can happen.
Unless the parent name on that file, I'd have to check with Debbie, is Michigan DPW.
Oh, that's gotta be what it is.
Because Michigan DPW is his business name.
Yeah, because when I go into the detail, I need to track it alphabetically, and I
You're
have to-
right.
I have to believe, no, you just answered the question, that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
gotta be Michigan DPW, because it's in the M's, and that makes sense. There was a consumer's entry that said our gas bill was like $7,000. I hope you read the detail, that is not the reality.
That was quite a bit.
It does.
Any other concerns in regards to the expenditures? The only other one, how many benches did we get for the dog park? Do you know, Bob?
We have one. We only had one, it was Vic Canover Chevrolet stepped up, and that should be there a couple weeks. But we only have, had one that we paid for. out of the dog, and keep again, these are dog park funds, not township
Yes,
money.
yeah, it's in their account, out of their account.
Bob, did we have like a fundraiser or some type of a, did we go out to the community and ask for?
Oh, yeah, we've beat the brush, and I went and sat in Matt's Stevens' office and told him I wasn't gonna leave until he bought a bench.
How much were the benches?
I wanna say $2,000. We can have either a family name in memory, a company logo and name, whatever. They're plastic benches made out of recycled milk cartons.
Okay.
So they'll last forever. Once anybody interested, give me a call.
Yeah. Well, it's a good form of advertisement. That park is used a lot. Are there any other concerns in regards to the expenditures? If not, a motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $260,854.30 for payment.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mathis?
Yes.
Kessler?
Yes.
Gopel?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. This is public hearings. This is Dartmouth Drive Street Improvement Special Assessment District. This hearing is on the cost and increase of a special assessment roll. This is a public hearing on revised cost and special assessment roll for Dartmouth Drive Street Improvement Special Assessment District. The low bid for the project was 40% over the Road Commission's estimate. Because the revision cost exceeds the previous estimated costs by 10% or more, the board will first hear comments regarding the cost increase and whether or not the property owners wish to continue. After accepting the public comment, there will be two options. The first option is request the revised cost and cancel the project. This would result in the property owners still being assessed from the Genesee County Road Commission engineering costs and require the entire process to be started over again. The second concern is agree to the new costs and continue the special assessment process. So Tom, I'm going to let you, because you've been dealing with this, I'm going to let you go on with this with the public. I'm going to let you come up and speak and give us your concerns in regards to it. What the new cost is what, Tom? Is it the $10,120?
Well, that's the amount per property, yes.
141.
The low bid was $141,689, which is, 23,000 less than the low bid last time they did it, so it improved, but it was still 40,000 over the road commission estimate, so it's still significantly higher than what was anticipated previously.
Is the base assessment the $5,000 number? And
Well,
there's 4 or 5
yeah.
on here that have 10.
It's kind of unusual. We have a mixed bag of property owners with a house lot on the water and a garage lot on the back, but some have them combined. So this was set up so each property owner paid the same amount. Because in some cases, the garage lot and the house, even though they're across the street, they were combined years ago, and some aren't. So each property owner would be paying $10,120.65. We could.
I'm not seeing that though. Why is it?
Yeah, if you look at
If you look, everyone with
Mixu,
a 5 has a second lot with 5. Every owner.
Oh, they show back up again?
Right.
Okay. I see. I'm now looking down below. I see. So how many property owners do you have?
I think it's
14.
Okay, we got 2 people here in letter form that say nay. Have we heard from anybody else?
We have several here.
We have several residents here.
But in terms of.
You mean letters?
I know who's here, but I mean,
No,
I gotta
this
put
is the
these
extent of what we've received.
no phone calls, no. Okay.
We have 2 letters, yes. You want to read them down?
When they're done. Well, we have 2 letters regarding the road. One from Kimberly Evans and Mark Compton, and they both support the redoing of the road.
No,
No, Mark does not.
No.
Mark doesn't.
Mark does not.
Yeah.
Kim Evans and her husband do.
I had misread. Like I said, forget it, they don't want to.
I misread the other one, Bob, so we're even.
I guess you're looking for
Yeah,
what
Mark
you want.
doesn't.
1 for, 1 against.
And no, she's saying she's for it.
Yep, I am voting
yeah.
no.
She's in favor of fixing the road.
Won't happen again.
Yeah.
Right. They're both.
Okay, so that's, so I was
Okay, we
right.
got it straight.
You're off, Bob. I'm back to where I was.
Can I go to watch a game?
Yes. I'll be right behind you.
So what I'm going to
No.
do, I'm going to open it up to public comment. Let you voice your opinion on this so we know. And then, Tom, do we make a decision tonight? Cancel it or
Thank you, sir.
continue it or?
Yeah, I mean, if the decision is not to move forward, we can bring back a resolution at a future meeting to dissolve the district if that's what is desired. That's a little more.
And this is Mr. Reynolds.
Good evening. Bob Reynolds, regarding the mentioned paving. Our entire street are pretty much under, I don't think there's any positives to this. Everyone wants to vote no, stop, end, don't go any further, don't pay any more cost to have any more opinions or prices drawn. It's like in the township, 80% of that street is fine. It's a very small portion that needs to be repaired. Like you were talking earlier about the street being crooked and ending, our street merges into the city, and the city's end is worse than the township's end.
Absolutely.
So we can't do anything about that, but ours is I actually think it's a fixed job on sewers popping up and that kind of thing, because to repave that whole road and go through all that at that cost, and it's unfortunate because there's only 14 of us on the street that, you know, it is what it is. But the road is not in that bad a condition except in 2 spots with drainage problems. So I think everyone on our street is a no vote and don't go any further.
All 14 is what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't know of anyone that's positive that, and there's 4 houses of the people here, and you're holding 2, that's 6. Another one's my daughter across the street, I know she's a no, so that's 7 of the 14, and I'm pretty sure that the other people are the same vote.
If you're a no, would you just come up and tell us you're a no and give us your address so
Thank you.
we can do the scorecard, because it won't take very long if what he's telling us is true.
You already got my letter.
You're in your letter?
We
Okay.
got your letter, yeah.
Okay.
You're not supposed to,
Who's that? Is that Thompson? Okay.
you're not supposed to be here.
All right, well, unfortunately.
Hi, I'm Amy
Messed up our
Maxud,
county.
and it's 14160 Darts Drive, and I'm a no.
Thank
No.
you, Amy.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm Carolyn Ellis, 14166 Darts Drive, and I'm a no.
Thank you.
Any more?
Should get Coralie so she has
You want me to give the 2 addresses that?
Well, we want to do what your board, we want to do what your street wants, and we just want to make sure that the majority or even half,
Sure.
that's, you know,
Yeah.
that's all we're trying to do, look out for everybody.
We're not
Sure,
gonna
Bob
have-
Reynolds again, at 14178 Darts Drive, that's a no. And my daughter, who lives across the street at 14181, is a no,
Okay.
if I can say that.
Is there anyone else in regards to this? So we don't have them here. We're going to have to get a letter out, or,
3,
Yeah.
4, 5. We got 6.
Nah.
I'm comfortable with.
If I haven't heard a single yes.
I am too.
I'm comfortable with, if they don't want it, I'm good with shutting it down.
Yeah.
So am I.
Okay.
I'm
I
with-
gotta ask Carl Lee, do you agree with Bob?
After 50
Okay, it's on record.
First
Carl
time
Lee.
ever.
Yeah, we got it on record.
But as I understood, we were informed in the original part, if one person said no, it was over anyway, so I don't think it does, but it doesn't. Some people are vacationing for the winter. I know of one, and he's a no, and I can't speak for him. So we were told one no makes it.
Yeah. Ideally, I'd like to have 7 of you, but 6 is close enough for me without a single yes here.
Well, if there would have been a yes here, then would.
Right.
But
Yeah, I don't think it's, I believe him to be
they
telling
could
me.
have sent a letter, they've been.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say
All
move
right.
forward.
All right, so what this was going to be then, you're going to reject the revised cost and cancel the project.
Yep.
This would result in the property owners still being assessed from Genesee County Road Commission engineering cost, and require the entire process to be started over again.
If they want.
If you want to.
We don't want to start over again.
No, if you want it, you can go back to them. Yeah, oh, no.
Will this be spread across the whole road now? There's the original people, which goes from 14 to about 25 or 30, who didn't want it, but they're still part of the original township, rather than just we 14.
You want to answer that one time? I didn't
No,
hear it.
the original district was dissolved when this one was created with the shorter scope of work. So now, based on what I'm hearing, then we'll be bringing a resolution to the next meeting to dissolve this district, which then we're back to square one. And if there's a desire for a project, it starts over. And whether it's a reduced scope even more, or the whole road again, that's up to the property owners and which way you'd like to pursue it.
Is there not something about the road being maintained, that sewers aren't popping up and being higher than the road, that kind of thing? Is there not any service?
We can look at some maintenance work to see what could be done to make it better. I know they've been holding off doing anything significant because we thought this project would eventually get done. So we could take a look at it with the road commission, with our engineers, and see if there's a fix they can do that'll at least improve it for a while.
Tom, do you know the what's the exposure?
Bob, oh, I'm sorry.
Do you know the exposure for the engineering costs?
I do not.
No.
And I'm assuming they're going to bill us for it. They did do some design work and bid it out, so there's going to be some numbers there. Well, the original estimate in the roll,
It's 12,000.
yeah, which I don't think they've gotten that far with it, so, maybe 6 to 8.
Oh, it's significant then.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
think, no,
You just, I mean, I don't want to guess if we don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Bob, when you say the sewers, aren't the sewers recessed? They're not popped up.
Are they recessed?
They're recessed.
I'm talking about the storm sewer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're recessed.
I think the one is recessed by my house.
Yeah.
That next door at Jeff's.
And then the one at the curve,
And the one at the curb.
really bad, by Mr. Love's
Yeah.
house.
And those really are a repair issue. And that, because the road besides that at our end is good. Yeah. I think one has been maintained. The one going up the hill, I think maybe fixed.
Maybe fit. We can check it out and see. Mrs. Ellis?
At the end of the summer, they attempted to put blacktop down, fill the holes. But then it got cold, and doesn't that blacktop have to melt into it? And it got cold, and it never did, and now it's all crumbling. So they attempted at the end of the summer, when we weren't going to get the road, they thought. And but it never had time to adhere. so now it's all crumbling.
We're just going to have to find a new way to build that road. You know, I mean, we really are. We're going to have to check things out, like you said, with the manholes and the water and all that, and see what else can be done. You know, we went out for the paving, but if you don't have the money, you don't have the money, so we got to go a different route as far as I'm concerned. Is there any other comment from the board members? All right, I'm going to close the public comment. Any board discussion? Tom, do you want Bob to read this resolution?
No, we won't need the
You
resolution
won't
now.
need
That
it,
was to
Bill.
confirm the role.
Okay.
We'll need
so-
one next meeting that removes the special assessment.
We need a motion on this, so I'll make a motion to reject the revised cost and cancel the project.
Second?
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
I vote yes, motion passes.
All right, we'll see what we can come up with.
You all can go and watch the football game.
I was going to say, you can leave if you want. We'll give you a chance to leave. The next item on the
I'll get you a
agenda
copy of the record, Bob.
yeah, is the fire department, the fourth quarter of his Chief Oles' report. So Chief Oles, can you give us an update on that?
The fourth quarter for Fenton and Tyrone Township was 169 alarms. We had one fire, one explosion, 105 EMS calls, 10 hazardous conditions, 10 service calls, 31 good intent calls, 10 false alarms, and 1 weather call. And that was for Fenton Township and Tyrone Township included.
When you say explosion, what?
It was.
Or what exploded?
I don't know if it's a pipe bomb or something down, I believe it was down off of Owen Road somewhere down there.
Oh, okay.
Or a M80 or something. I think I explained it at one of the last.
Did you ever get a call? It's kind of a mystery, and I don't think we're going to ever find the answer. Maybe 2 weeks ago, our pump station by Legends was run over, I mean totaled. And it had to be an enormous truck that was very, very heavy and low. And I was at our house, and at 2:14, this terrible noise happened. And we said, it's not a gun, it's not an explosion, it isn't. So then our sewer company contacted us and said this had happened. Did you get a call that there was any call in regards to that?
Nope.
Everything stayed running, thank God. But
Yeah,
they
we
destroyed
We
it.
didn't get a call for that.
Okay. Is there any discussion from the board members to the fire chief?
So that was for the, that was the entire, now Tyrone Township, out of those, there was 20 calls in Tyrone Township. There were 11 EMS, 2 service calls, and 7 good intent calls. So that's for the last quarter of 2018. And then the grand total for Fenton Township and Tyrone Township was 683 alarms. We had 31 fires. Now on the fires, that also includes our automatic mutual aid with Fenton, Linden, Argentine, Mundy Township. So it's not just our fires alone. We had, of course, the one explosion. We had 472 EMS calls. We had 25 hazardous conditions, 42 service calls, 70 good intent calls, 41 false alarms, and the 1 weather call. And that was for the total, and the total of Tyrone Township were 79. There were 5 fires, 54 EMS calls, 2 hazardous conditions, 7 service calls, and 11 good intent calls.
Chief, how do our numbers total for the year stack up to previous years?
We were down 64 calls from last year and almost even with the year before.
Good
So
news.
it dropped. A lot of it, is we didn't have as many calls in Tyrone Township this year. And then, of course, we have our, a lot of our calls that were medical where either the person passed or moved. So,
Is there any questions from the audience to the chief? Any from the board members? Okay, thank you, chief.
do you need me to stick around for the SOP book issue, or you guys all good with that? You stick around? Okay.
It would
He
be
does.
good if you did, I
Probably
believe.
should, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, in case somebody has a question.
all right.
Okay, one other question, and Mr. Belcher is here too. Contract with Tyrone Township. Are they about to do it or no?
I don't know. Tom's got a phone call, I got a couple phone calls. I've put it all over to Jack to deal with their attorney on it.
And
So it's really, it's your guys, it's up to you guys, and it's up to Tyrone Township to come to an agreement on it. So, it's, you know, it's 80-some calls a year. It's good revenue, but, you know, where do you draw the line on it? If it's about wording in a contract or something wasn't proper and there was a way that you guys wanted it, you know, if it's something that can be discussed out between both boards, then fine. But, I mean, I think Jack,
yeah, well, Tom and I have had some discussions, and their attorney just doesn't respond to the specifics that Tom and I made to the contract, just to clean things up, just saying, no, we don't want to change anything, no language change, no nothing. And so you're kind of at a stalemate. I mean, I don't understand. I've never encountered that where somebody says, well, this has been good enough for however many years, so why clean it up or correct anything? And there were some mistakes in it, so that's where it's at.
what it all boils down to is it's a contract between 3 different communities. It's us, Heartland, and Fenton City.
That it's one.
And it's all drawn off the same contract. They just changed the names of the entities running the area. So if that's the case, they are also responding with, you know, incorrect information in their contract. So if Jack's saying that we did a little spelling corrections or changed some words around, then I guess it's pretty much down to the
Could we give them a
attorneys to
letter
figure
with
this
a
out.
deadline and say?
we
just like
haven't got a deadline. And Mike
No,
has,
let's make one. Let's make a deadline.
Contract expires.
Right.
Yeah.
It expires in
Why is
April.
the deadline?
Well, if it's expired, we gotta have a new one, so we can put a deadline.
Expires in April.
it expires in April.
You just said it expired.
And they have the option to opt out of it and run with either Fenton or Heartland on it. So, and I believe they told us that they will run with one or the other. So I don't think they really care if they change the language back or whatever. So I mean, it needs to kind of coincide with the way we operate here too. So I mean, we can't get hung out to dry because they don't have the proper wording in their contract.
What do you mean hung out to dry?
Well, it just, I mean, some of the stuff that was in the contract we changed was stuff that the board makes the decision, not the fire chief. You know, there's things in there that you guys have to decide on to
Yeah.
approve us to run in that jurisdiction over there.
But the
mean,
money
it's not my
we're getting
call.
from Tyrone aren't necessarily money-making. We're recouping and breaking even with our costs, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's a minimal, I bet we're making a minimal cost, a minimal,
Sure. So I guess if this doesn't happen, and my concern is with Fenton Township, so you stay home?
right.
Okay.
Would
Bring our
that,
shovels back to our sandbox and play in our sandbox.
Chief, would you then be required to reduce staffing because of
No.
the loss? So
No.
we could stay with our current staffing?
We'll be fine with our current staffing, absolutely. It doesn't affect us any iota, other than that extra 80 calls a year.
Yeah,
that
I
we
just
get
wanted to
from-
make sure we're not going to have to lay off
No.
firefighters.
all right, so they have City of Fenton, Fenton Township, who's the third one?
Heartland. So Heartland runs from Center Road to the south. We run up to Center Road on the west side of the expressway. Fenton City covers the whole expressway up to,
East.
on the east side up to the south of wherever or I think up to the Orchard, I think.
What
Which it
is
turns
the
into
fire
Heartland
hall
anyways.
on the corner of Old 23 that we see, is it Dean Road or whatever?
What's that now?
There's a fire hall that is right.
That is Parcelville Road. We used to run all the way
Parcelville.
up to Parcelville Road. That's Heartland Station 3. I mean, we
Okay.
ran that trailer park there for years, from 2002 to, I think, till 2010 when they changed our jurisdiction.
Because they're taking over the
Yeah, I
trailer
mean, the
park.
fire station's right there. I
Yeah.
mean, we're driving 6 miles to where there's a station a mile away from the trailer park.
Okay.
So,
All right, well, thank you very much.
you're welcome.
All right, communications. Are there any other committee reports, first of all?
I have one.
Okay,
It's the Police and Fire Board. We meet at 7 o'clock first Monday of the month to discuss more or less housekeeping. No decisions were made. We had an issue with our station at Bowl Street. There was apparently a power surge by the high school, and that affected our high-volume water computer at that Bowl Station, so we had to have that replaced. On the Owen Road Station, we have the exhaust, basically the truck exhaust inside the barn. The exhaust pump compressor went out, so we had to have that. We're looking to get that out. We're waiting for prices on that, and also again the retaining wall up at the Bowl Station was repaired, and that's what was discussed at the meeting.
okay.
The retaining wall just fell apart. There wasn't any.
Oh, it was so bad.
John, it's been that. I don't think it's ever been addressed for 30 years,
Okay.
and it was just.
I was over there last
You know, the
fall or
main
whatever,
apron
but I don't
where the
remember it,
trucks are, and
so
was
I
just-
believe it.
You've seen it, just
You wouldn't have
gradually
known
just
it was
Wear
a
and tear. It
retaining
wasn't
wall.
a
It was so
sliding
bad.
down.
truck knocking it
I've
down
seen
or
it.
anything like
No.
that.
Chief, did you have your hand up?
I scratched my head.
Just scratching your head. How about Fred? All right. Communications, none. Adoption of ordinances, none. We need to have a special meeting before the next board meeting. The primary purpose of this meeting is to review the candidates for trustee for the vacancy of trustee Shoemaker. So, gentlemen, what are your wishes when we could have this meeting?
Let's do it next Monday,
I'm available.
when there's not a football game.
I'm fine with any date.
I
Monday?
can't be here.
I'm good Monday.
It's just going to be,
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
yeah, we're just going to be reviewing, I think we got
You don't need
11
you to.
candidates.
Yeah. What time I do it? I'm available at whenever.
Can we do it earlier?
Yeah.
Sure we
Yeah, I
can.
don't want to wait till 7:30. If we can do it at 6 o'clock or something.
6 o'clock?
Yeah.
I'm good.
6 o'clock?
Are you all right with 6?
Fine with anything.
Bob? All right, we're going to have that meeting on
14.
January 14th at 6 o'clock. Okay. Now, this one here is the new business, and it is awarding the herbicide application contract for Lake Benema. Progressive AE has completed the rebidding process for treatment applications on Lake Benema. Rick, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Bruton of Progressive is here to review the bid results. Rick, would you like to come up and?
Sure. Actually, I have the hard copies too that we received of the bids.
You wouldn't believe it, but I dropped all of these loose today. And
No.
it was terrible.
Disaster.
Didn't have the problem electronically.
Yeah, so once again, my name is Rick Butine. We were Progressive AE, was hired as the consultant to the PST board and the Fenton Township board to oversee the plant control
I'm
management.
gonna have
on
you
Lake
talk a
Benema.
little louder.
Okay, will do. I'm an environmental consultant with Progressive AE. We oversee the plant management on Lake Benema, and we recently rebid the applicator for the herbicides for 2019 and going on. We received 4 bids from PLM, Lake and Land Management, Aquatic Services, Aquaweed, and Clark Aquatics. You guys should have the bid tabulation in your packet. We recommend going with the low bidder. We've had good experience with them. We've worked with them for years, and we believe that they can provide excellent service at the price that they bid. We have the support of the association, and we have representatives from the association here if you'd like them to speak to that as well.
How does the bid compare to what the prior bid was?
It's comparable. It's
Same ballpark?
Yeah, same ballpark.
Cheaper, that's it, 185.
So the existing special assessment will cover the cost without having to
Correct.
come up short.
Correct.
Any questions from the board? From what I understand, Rick, the company that will be doing the pesticides or herbicides is going to be Progressive?
No, the company that will actually be applying the herbicides is PLM Lake and Land Management.
Is what?
PLM Lake and Land Management.
Okay, Tom, is that the one for Lake Fenton?
Yes.
All right, I made a mistake on which name to give. But the people of Lake Fenton, I know, are very pleased with their work.
Yes.
Okay.
They do a beautiful job. I will say, though, when we were here the other day, when you were here before, I'm definitely against taking a person's bid and giving them an award to a company to be able to do this for a year or 2 years, and then take the bid away and put it up for bidding and don't letting them bid. That's my problem. I know this company is fantastic. I know both of these companies very, very well. And the one that's on Lake Fenton, you know, they were talking about Lake Panema. They don't get notice and that, and they put the things on the trees and the signs. That happens with all these companies.
Yeah.
They can't control it. I mean, they try. But all I will say is I'm happy with what they've done with Lake Fenton, but I do disagree on taking a company's job away from them once they were awarded it. I really do.
Okay.
All right. Any other discussion from the board? None? A motion is in order to award the herbicide application contract for Lake Panema to PLM Lake and Land Management Corporation as recommended by Progressive AE.
So moved.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mathis.
Why would you do that to me?
Because that's the first name on the slide.
All right, I will give you my vote. I'm going to tell you why. I give you my vote because I know Progressive is an unbelievable company. If you had anybody else, you would have got to know. I'm going to say yes.
Are you ready, Brad?
Pardon me?
Kessler. I vote yes. Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for your time.
All right.
We got a hand out here.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm Jason Ward, president of the PST Association. I just want to let you know, I appreciate what you're saying there, but Aquatic Nuisance had that contract for the previous 5 years, and we saw the lake was getting worse in the weeds, so that's why last year we hired Progressive AE as a consultant to oversee them, and we agreed to keep them on board now that they had some supervision, I would say. And when we originally assessed this last year at this time, we were under the impression that we were only agreeing to a 1-year trial with them in the first place. And it wasn't because of notices, excuse me, they were actually very late in their treatments. They were asked to treat when the water temperature was at a certain degree within, I think they had like 10 days or 14 days, and they were almost 30 days late on that first treatment. So we basically treated the lake for nothing, because if you don't hit the right temperatures, it was a poor performance issue. It was not because they weren't posting, because we understand those things do happen. It was a progressively worsening situation. So
Now, another thing, I don't know which gentleman was talking about harvesting. You don't plan on harvesting, do you?
I'll let you handle that.
It depends. Right now,
No, don't say that.
the plant community needs to lend itself to harvesting. Right now, the primary mode of controlling the weeds will be herbicides.
Okay.
So-
The reason why I question harvesting, we have a gentleman that comes to our meetings, Dave Hallcroft.
Okay.
And he hasn't been to the meetings, he's probably in Florida.
He's in Florida.
But anyway, he's deathly against harvesting.
Okay.
And the mill pond, and he's got proof of all this, harvests. Then the mill pond keeps draining and it comes into Lake Panema and then it feeds off into the other lakes. And he said all it does is once you cut it up, it goes to the bottom and then it's coming, it's traveling. So I can honestly say, if I was the people of the lake, the only thing I would be very concerned about is the word harvesting.
Right.
Because of the trail, Lake Panema is not a lake by itself.
Right. Oh,
It's
yeah.
a traveling lake.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So can I clear something up about harvesting in itself? So the way that we manage harvesting is once the milfoil is gone, once that treatment has been done, then potential harvesting can happen because that plant, Eurasian milfoil, is the one that fragments via harvesting, and that causes huge issues, especially in moving waters. So we never recommend harvesting milfoil ever. The only reason that they would ever do harvesting is if there's nuisance native plants, and it'd be cost benefit. It'd be beneficial to use harvesting to get those plants out of the, out of the channels.
Any other questions from the board members? Any other statements from the people in the audience? Oh, okay.
Just one more comment on the year-to-year assessment of the lake, too. My name's Dominic Corso. I'm Vice President of the PST Lake Association Board. With a 5-year contract with a single vendor that does some certain treatment, our needs may change year to year as we start to improve our lake. That was the point of the harvesting. Didn't mean that we were doing harvesting, it's just that our needs may change year to year. That's why we have Progressive, the consultant here, so they can target the right treatment for the right areas of the lake in time. So if we had a 5-year with the same person for 5 years and our needs change, we can't change. That's why the year to year is kind of needed in that regard. But if everything is going good and they don't recommend any changes, we would just keep going with the same vendor.
Okay, I'm for it. All we're just giving the right that we'll collect the money for you, but you did pick a good company. I mean, you really did. You're lucky on that one. All right. I need a motion to. Oh, we already did that. Yep.
No, it's yours.
All right, this is for Mr. Atwell, and you're up, Tom. This is a request to extend tentative approval of preliminary plat, Pinnacle Shores. Tom Atwell, which is the developer, this is Pinnacle Shores subdivision, has requested an extension to the tentative approval of preliminary plat for the entire subdivision.
Thank you.
The development is being platted in phases. Extension of preliminary plat approved will allow him to continue with the platting process for the remaining phases. Tom Atwell builds good homes, and he's done a beautiful job with Pinnacle Shores, and he has done this in phases. And so you come to us, what, about every 2 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it was once every year, and then last time it was granted for 2 years.
Okay. All right. Any board discussion in regards to this? You want to stand up here, Tom, in case they ask any questions?
Are we into any of the phases, Tom?
Pardon me?
Are we into any of the phases yet, or is this still just preliminary all the way around?
Okay,
Oh.
maybe I can give you this and explain something more.
Thank you.
What I've highlighted is what I've developed, and what is not highlighted is not developed.
Okay. So in terms of your phasing, what numbers have you cleared through and what have you got?
Right now, I've done 3 phases.
3 phases?
This is, well, I'm upside down.
We'll
I'll
fix
give you
it.
the wrong information, but I'm right down right in the middle of it.
Okay. You all see this?
Yep.
Halfway through roughly?
There's about 112 lots that are developed at this time.
I'm really worried that you might step off that step,
Be
so.
careful with them.
Yeah, I
Would-
know
Okay,
20 years ago, I tried to get Tom to sell me lots 114 or so. He didn't have any roads back then either. Good thing I didn't wait.
it is a beautiful area, there's no doubt about it. Any questions from any of your board members? Nope. Anybody? All right, Tom.
I drove it. Yeah, we've been doing it. I mean, for a long time, we all understood it was just economic necessity. I would hope he's coming out of it. He's well into this development, so, you know, things have changed, the zoning stuff has changed, but I would feel uncomfortable making him go back to redesign something that's halfway built out.
It's halfway built out.
And
I
he's a
agree.
good Boy Scout, despite what Bonnie says when he's not around.
Any other discussion? All right, I need a motion to, let me get my glasses on. A motion to grant 2-year extension to the tentative approval of the preliminary plat of Pinnacle Shores as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mathis.
Yes.
I just had to call you first. Lorraine.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Gopel. Yes. I vote yes. Kessler.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
You're all set.
The next one is selection of community development block grant projects. Thank you,
Take
Tom.
care, Tom.
Operation Manager Tom Broker, will you talk about this? This is a CDBG monies that are awarded to the township.
Yes, as you recall, in November, the board approved 8 potential projects for pre-application. Those were submitted, and after the county review, they've approved 5 of them. 3 of them are street improvements within the low moderate area, paving the intersection approach on Old Linden Road, which is a project previously approved, but just didn't have the funding to complete that one. Ditching and culvert replacement as needed on some of the unpaved roads in that area, Odell, Fairbanks, south side of Ray, Jennings, north of Thompson. Crack sealing on Jennings between Laring and Thompson to prolong the life of that road. The other 2 projects that were approved were scholarship funds for Southern Lakes Parks and Rec to help income eligible residents pay for program fees, and also the senior safety program. My recommendation is that we submit final applications on everything except the senior safety program, only because, explained in the memo, we did a similar project in 2012, and the expected life of the devices is about 10 years, so the next funding cycle of 2022 to 24 would be an ideal time to run that one out again, I think. So other than that, we're looking at to use up our allocation of, I think it's 82,164, 28,000 toward Old Linden Road paved approach, 15,000 for crack sealing on Jennings Road, 10,000 for Southern Lakes Parks and Rec scholarships, and then the remainder, 29,164 for ditching and culvert replacements on the unpaved roads. We do have a January 11th deadline to submit the application, so we don't have a big window, but if the board's ready to approve these for submission, we'll get them in this week.
Is there any discussion from the board? All right, a motion is in order to approve the CDBG applications for the following projects, and that is the projects that Mr. Broker just spoke on.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kessler.
Yes.
I vote yes. Lorraine.
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, proposed Fenton Township Fire Department Standard Operation Procedure, my manual. The Fenton Township Fire Department has updated the standard operating procedure manual and is presented to the board, and will be presented to the board this evening through Chief Foles or Mr. Belcher, whichever, and we all have that that packet in front of you. So, any board discussion? Go ahead, Mr. Chief Walls.
One of the things is this hasn't been updated since 1979. So it's been needed to be done, and it's done now.
Good for you.
Tom and I worked in it pretty ruthlessly here for the last couple months, and then we got it to Jack, and he had about 4 or 5 more changes, and we were done with it. So it's being presented to you guys. What we did is we removed like the sexual harassment part of it, all that. We put that because of the Township handbook covers all that. So what this is our SOPs, our standard operating procedures. This is what we run with every day on our fire department, in the stations and on the fairgrounds. So that's pretty much what it is. It has a social media policy in it, and a couple of the other hazmat stuff for hazardous materials, confined space. It's just our operations.
Chief, have you, or during the process, you or Tom, did we ever, Tom, is there like, at the MTA, do they have a resource that they went out to, or have we had the opportunity? I mean, this is a fire department. This is, you know, we're not experts in that. I've read this, but I don't know if there's holes.
Where would the
It follows right along with the MTA.
You what?
It pretty much follows right along with the MTA. Even with all the classes that we just went to, even our social media policy came through what they recommended. So
okay.
This
so
stuff is drawn.
You
right
have
up.
had.
And I believe Bob has my book, the Fire Chief's Manual. So,
Yes.
And a lot of that stuff was cross-referenced with that stuff.
So
I
you
mean, it's
did
pretty
have
simple.
reference materials to make sure that this is complete.
Absolutely.
And you're confident of that?
I'm very confident. I just want to get this thing approved and start enforcing it.
Absolutely.
You good with the legal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I went through it and I sat down with the chief and Tom and gave him my 2 cents.
I was a
Is that all you're gonna charge us?
Well,
No, it's on record.
no, 2 cents worth periodically. That period being a very short.
At least you were in college in 70.
I was in college.
Is there any other board discussion in regards to it? All right, I need a motion to adopt the Fenton Township Fire Department Standard Operation Procedures Manual effective January the 7th, 2019 as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion passes.
All right, the next one is
We'll
proposed.
we'll also document it, just not to interrupt, we're going to document it the same way as we did the Township handbook. They're going to have to read it, revise it, and then they're going to have to sign it, and then we'll put that in their file. So
Good.
it'll be in there saying that they read it,
Read it.
they read it and understand it, so.
Good.
Okay?
As soon as we distribute that, then we'll have them sign that, and then should be read within a week.
Yes.
The manual.
And we'll put it right in their file, and it'll be in there.
Well, I'm just saying, we'll do the signature as soon as we hand it to them, that way.
Well, what it'll say is that they've received it and they understand that they have to read it and they're bound by it.
Okay.
And it does state in there too, if they have any questions or they want any more information given to them, they can come to the office and I can explain it to them.
I would recommend a copy at both Station 1 and Station 2.
Yes,
so
there'll
it
be
can
a- there'll be
referred
an
to
office
at all
copy.
times because
Yes.
that has been something that's been brought up. I'm
Yep.
at one of the MTA conferences. Anything legal we should have, and I use that within my own corporation. Every location I have throughout the state all has
There'll be a copy at each station, plus the township will also get a copy.
a copy here.
Yep, and then if it's ever updated or whatever, it'll be brought to you guys, be approved, and then we'll update it. The same as this is with the township handbook. So, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. This is the proposed summer tax, what?
The board should agree and adopt, you know, that you're in compliance, or that you agree with what the fire chief has proposed here.
I thought we just did.
Didn't we just do
Okay.
it? We just did it.
Motion.
Okay, all right, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's
3 cents worth, and we don't need that.
Checking the score. Yeah, you're checking the score.
We voted on it committee and thought it was already done.
Proposed summer tax collection agreements. Linden, Fenton, Genesee Intermediate School Districts have received requests again this year to collect a portion of the local school district taxes in the summer tax bill. Agreements have been prepared to formalize these agreements with Linden and Fenton schools and GISD. The agreements are identical to the agreements executed in 2018. Any board discussion? Excuse me.
Tom and I discussed the rate for these. I bumped it 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember exactly when, a little bit. I confirmed that the costs haven't increased, so the numbers that are in there are consistent with last year's. I'll probably be looking at them a little more seriously in terms of an increase in the rate next time they're up.
Excuse me. Tom, is there anything you want to say in regards to this?
No, it's pretty much become a standard process. The agreements haven't changed much over the years, and it's a pretty smooth process.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the 2019 summer tax agreement with Linden Community Schools as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion passes.
Okay, motion to approve the 2019 summer tax collection agreement with Fenton area schools as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
I vote yes. Lorraine.
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I need a motion to approve the 2019 summer tax collection with Genesee County Intermediate School District as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes,
I
yes.
vote yes. Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, here we go again on something else. Proposed 2019 property tax hardship exemption policy. Each year, the township adopts a revised property tax hardship policy for the Board of Review to use in reviewing hardship exemption applications. The proposed policy is identical to the policy adopted in 2018 and updated in levels and deadlines. Any board discussion? Tom, do you know, I should know, but I don't right now, how many hardships we get?
I don't believe they had that many last year. It was fewer than 10. I don't know the exact number.
And the only other one that we do get, we get the military exemption for property taxes. Any board discussion in regards to it? Motion to adopt the 2019 Fenton Township Tax Financially Hardship Exemption Policy as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mathis,
Yes.
Kessler,
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we need to schedule a public hearing for the 2019 local road improvements. What this is, we will schedule this road improvement public hearing on January the 21st. Time-wise, 7:30 or 7 or?
It's part of our regular meeting.
Okay,
It's a
it's regular meeting.
Yeah.
The hearing will give the board an opportunity to obtain input from the residents of the township. This is important because we already know right now what ones we think we're going to be doing. But there could be a road out there that no one has complained on it and we've not gone out on it. So I need a motion to schedule a public hearing for January 21st, 2019 to obtain citizens' input regarding potential local road improvement projects for 2019.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mathis.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next one is schedule a public hearing for a transfer of industrial facilities exemption certificate. D'Amico Med Device LLC. All this information, gentlemen, are in your packet. Is there any board discussion in regards to it?
Very briefly, we have the business formerly known as CFI Medical Solutions bought by D'Amico Med Device. They have a property tax abatement on some personal property, some of the equipment there, and it's still in use. So they've applied to just simply transfer the existing abatement into their name. It doesn't extend the abatement period, it just puts it in their name for the duration.
Okay, and that comes up on the 21st.
The board needs to schedule a public hearing on it, and I'm recommending that it be on the 21st.
All right. A motion to schedule a public hearing on Monday, January 21st, 2019 to consider the application of D'Amico Med Device LLC to transfer existing industrial facilities exemption certificate 2012-506 from CFI Medical Solutions to D'Amico Medical Device LLC.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mathis.
Yes.
Kessler.
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion is carried. I need a resolution for 2019-02. This is a memorial for Alberta Martin. Fenton Township and the entire region lost a true pillar from our community. Now, on my report, it says last week, but she didn't die last week.
January 1st.
January 1st, she passed.
She did.
Yep, 1:30 in the morning,
Oh,
January 1st.
okay, I did not know that. A memorial resolution has been presented to honor Mrs. Martin's many years of public service. She's going to be missed. She was involved in so many community things, and she was always there. She did her job just absolutely wonderful. I feel very fortunate to have known Alberta and have been in many, many committees with her. She was a wonderful lady. All right, resolution number 2019-02. Clerk Krug, will you present the resolution?
Yes, thank you. Whereas longtime Fenton resident Alberta B. Martin passed away on January 1st, 2019. And whereas after serving 12 years on the Detroit Board of Education, Mrs. Martin moved to the Fenton Township, where she lived for the rest of her life. During this time, she contributed greatly to the progress and welfare of the community, most notably as a member of the Lake Fenton Board of Education, Southern Lakes Park and Rec Board of Directors, and the Losey Senior Citizen Center Board of Directors, and where in addition to her involvement in local organizations, Mrs. Martin served in leadership positions in many statewide and national associations, receiving numerous awards, honors, and accolades during a public service career that spanned nearly 5 decades. And whereas Mrs. Martin served loyally and faithfully as a member of the Lake Fenton Community School Board of Education from 1982 to 2014, as a member of Southern Lakes Park and Rec Directors from 2001 through 2006, and a member of the Losey Senior Citizen Board of Directors from 2001 to 2016, exhibiting the qualities of vision leadership throughout the 35 years of devoted service
to our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Board of the Charter Township Fenton hereby recognizes Alberta B. Martin for valuable contribution, express sincere appreciation and gratitude for her dedicated service to the entire Fenton Township / Linden / Fenton community, and express profound sadness at her passing, and be it further resolved that this resolution be spread upon the minutes of the meeting and a copy be provided to Mrs. Martin's family. I'll move the resolution.
Support. Can we renumber it to 2019-01? I think we didn't do the other resolution. Does that work?
We can.
Yep. Before we vote, I want to say a couple of things of those that I believe Alberta Martin gave an I voted sticker to every eligible voter in Fenton Township. And if you wanted to get her goat, because she was so proud, accuse her of being one of the loose women in Linden instead of the lousy. And
Yeah.
she would, well, she'd let you know that it was not pronounced that way.
All right.
Need a roll call.
Did you make, yeah, we made the
Yep, I made the
resolution?
motion.
Okay, motion, roll call, please.
Gopel.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Pardon me. Lorraine.
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
I vote yes. Kessler.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, are there any other comments from the members of the board? Are there any comments from the public comment on agenda or non-agenda items? Now I would like to make a motion to recess the open meeting for the purpose of convening a closed session to discuss pending litigation in matter of the Paladin and Stevens versus Fenton Township.
So moved.
Any further discussion?
Give me a second.
Support.
Okay, roll call.
Kessler.
Yes.
I vote yes. Lorraine.
Yes.
Mathis.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
We are in closed session.
Okay.